unseen on water. Only because of him did the material universe appear, temporarily manifested by the reactions to the three modes of material nature. Appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Dharma Pujita Kaitravudra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivanam Tapa Trayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Purer Ishwaraha Sadyo Hridi Avarudyate Tra Krite Bihi Sususubhistakshanat, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam sukhamukad amritam dravya samyutam pipata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Srimad Bhagavatam, Grantha Raj, Ki Jai, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse number 42. O Lord Madhu, O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. This should be our prayer every day. O Lord of Madhu. Madhu was a demon that was killed by the Lord. As the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. So this is also similar in the Idam te mukam bhuj adyanta nilar ritam kuntalai signa raktais chagobya muhushchumbitam bimba rakta dharam me manas avirastam galam laksha labai. O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become reddened like bimbad fruits due to Mother Yasoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind. So, here it says, Let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. So these are the prayers of a pure devotee. They want their mind to be always focused on Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements, like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others, because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc., consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations, just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all the scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there. The friendship was there. Arjuna was there. And Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical change in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into service to the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure devotional or pure unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service, because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than service to the Lord. But here the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis was due to family relation. This is a tie of affection in terms of material relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul, established in relation with the Supreme Soul, are factual relations. When Kunti wanted to cut off the family relations, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the super soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing in the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Prabhupada begins by saying, perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted toward the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements, like affection for someone else. This is not possible. So the aim of the affection has to be changed. It's just like when we are attached to someone materially, whatever habits that person has is shared. Like if that person likes to watch television, eventually we'll also watch television. If that person likes to drink coffee, eventually we'll drink coffee. If that person likes this or that, eventually it'll because of the bodily attraction, one eventually compromises principles to keep the rapport with that person that we're materially attached to. But if that person is a devotee, then again, because that person will not eat food that's not offered to Krishna, that person will regularly chant their rounds, waking up early in the morning, and so forth. So, by associating with persons like that on the basis of devotional service, that is beneficial. And that's not the same thing as affection for a mundane person. So, the unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Unalloyed devotion, unalloyed meaning is not mixed. An alloy is it's a mixture of metals, but unalloyed means there's no mixture. It's only pure Krishna consciousness. So, unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. The devotion should not have any material purpose. It should be only to please Krishna. So this is Kunti's prayer. She wants to serve Krishna without any diversion. So Prabhupada says, our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure, unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. However, her affection for the Pandavas and the Rishis is not out of the range of devotional service because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. And sometimes service of the devotee is more important than service of the Lord. But here, the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Rishnis was due to family relation. This type of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relation of the body or the mind, the relations of the, relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti, so therefore, this is very interesting. See that the tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. So all this is instructive because it shows how difficult it is to transfer our affection from affection for the body to affection for the soul and its relationship to Krishna. It's extremely difficult to do that. And even someone like Kunti Devi had this, let's say, ambivalent attraction. But however, when Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. So now this is the subtle point. If you're attached to your family based on the relation of the skin, then that's not unalloyed devotion, that's not pure affection, etc. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the supreme soul, super soul. So that means, just like you connect to other people through a network, it could be Google, it could be Yahoo, it could be Microsoft, right? There's a network. So if we connect to other people through the network of Krishna consciousness, then that's a soul relationship. If we connect to someone through Google or Yahoo or Microsoft, that's a material relationship, you see. Now, what's the difference? Because there's connection in both cases. Well, the difference is the 4 regulative principles, and 4 means 8, right? The don'ts and the do's. So if you relate to your family based on following the don'ts and the do's of spiritual life, then that's the Krishna network. But if you don't relate based on the 4 regulative principles, then that's a material relationship. That's the skin relationship. See? So let's say there's a party and someone buys a cake made in Safeway, and it's beautifully decorated, but it has eggs in it. Okay? So if you partake of that cake, then that's the skin relationship. But if you say, no, I can't eat that because there's eggs in it, and let's throw this cake away and order a cake from the Mother Rasavati in the temple. Well, now it's no longer the skin relationship. It's Krishna conscious network. So the difference is following the don'ts and do's of spiritual life with the family. So when Kunti wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the supersoul. Well, yeah, the supersoul is going to see you eating the cake with eggs in it. And you knowingly or unknowingly are doing it because you're not, or we're not being careful about following the regulative principles. So you can't, but if you realize that, wait a minute, I can't get away with anything because Krishna is right there in my heart. He's watching everything I'm doing and hearing and listening to all my desires. It's like the super Amazon or Google spying through your, what do you call it, the microphone that you use to carry on conversations with other people, right? That microphone is actually spying on you, and they're recording all your discussions. You don't know that, but that's what's happening. Or you have a video camera, right? So you can see the other person when you're talking to them. Well, that's also spying on you. When you're sleeping or doing nonsense in your bedroom, that camera is watching you. Although you think it's off, but it's not off. They've made all these spy techniques. And then also, when you're born, they're going to put a chip in your brain that'll be spying on you, on your thoughts and whatever you're doing 24 hours a day by the government. Did you know that? Yeah.
Is it a plan?
Yeah.
Will you use government?
Huh?
Will you use government?
Yeah. Yes.
Why do you want to do it?
Because that way, if you're become a jihadist, right? Let's say you're up until 16, you're just a normal kid, but then you go on the internet, you become a jihadist. They'll be able to know it right away. No, it's real life. It's real life. They have the technology. They're going to mandate it that you get this chip in the brain, right? And they'll be able to watch you 24 hours a day. Okay, well, you don't blame them. Right? I mean, that's the only way they can control the population. Otherwise, now, somebody flips from being a normal person to a jihadist, but you don't know right away. You know, you'd have to look at their whole internet history to know what they're doing. Well, they can do that, but there's so many people and so few inspectors, right? So then, but their ability to spy on people through the internet connection is there. It's already there, right? They just have to refine it so that they can get immediate red flags, and better than that is when they put the chip in the brain of everyone, they can know immediately, right?
That will disturb the normal life of the person. For all of them, you're going to put it for the newborn people.
They'll mandate it.
So they want to intercept the thought. Is that what it is?
What?
What will that chip do?
No, it'll be able to figure out thoughts also. Yeah. But see, how are you going to do that? There's 7 billion people, right, in the world. They have to have really super, computers to be able to handle all that information. And then they have to have these filters to just filter out the dangerous stuff,
And they keep the records of so many years. You don't know why.
Yeah, it's huge, but you'll have plenty of work.
But doesn't it make sense the people has to be a mandate with the chip? It doesn't make a life. Better they have their own secret.
They can do it secretly also, without you knowing.
Yeah, nowadays the chips are also not like that. It's a big cheap person.
It's very small. It's almost microscopic. They can put it in the food. You don't even notice it. You eat it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they track it on the food. They put it in the food or somewhere.
They track insulin and all the stuff, like all the bloodstream.
They can put it in a vaccine. Yeah, you see. So, but here, see, Paramatma is already doing that. Already doing that better than whatever they can do, right? So how does he know? When Kunti, it says here, the tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relation of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. So, how do they know here? How does Prabhupada know? But here, the affection of Kunti for the Pandavas and Vrishnis was due to family relation. This type of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relation of the body or the mind are due to the influence of external energy. So how do they know that? How does he know that, right? Well, it's through the super soul. So you don't need Google technology or Amazon technology. It's already there, right? But you have to be connected to the Krishna network to be able to know these things. You have to be able to know yourself. So all this is subtle knowledge, right? This is not normal knowledge here. This is all subtle, very profound understandings, and it's all here in the story of Kunti Devi. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Patita Pavane Ki Jai, Hari Bol Namo Smriti 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 Smriti